Hello everybody, my name is Alexis Guy and I work as a SNAP Ed nutrition educator at Healthy Communities of the Capital Area. And I thought, given shortages of toilet paper and that we all are changing our cooking habits and cooking a whole lot more at home, this would be an ideal opportunity to share some information about food safety in your kitchen. The bacteria that cause food to spoil are not the same ones that cause illness. So that's why it's important to keep in mind some basic food safety practices in your kitchen, because you're not going to be able to tell if a food is safe to eat by smelling it or by tasting it or by looking at it. The first and most important food safety tip for your kitchen is hand washing. We've all been hearing a lot about it recently. You want to be washing your hands for at least 20 seconds. You can sing the happy birthday song or the ABCs to yourself. Or alternatively, here are a number of other fun options. You also want to think about washing other things. So washing your produce. For hardier vegetables, using a vegetable brush is a great way to go. Otherwise, just making sure that you're giving it a good wash and not just a rinse is important. You don't, however, want to wash your meat or your chicken especially. That doesn't actually make it any safer, and it's more likely to spread pathogens through your sink, through your kitchen. You want to make sure you're using separate cutting boards for your produce and your meat items to prevent cross-contamination. And when you're storing things in your fridge, you want anything that is a cooked dish or raw meat that could drip onto something else stored below anything that you might be eating fresh. Third really important thing to think about is temperature. So we have what's known as the danger zone, and that is anything in the temperature range between 40 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's the range where bacteria can multiply really quickly. And we don't want foods to be in that range for more than 2 hours. So what that means is keeping cold foods cold, keeping hot foods hot, and refrigerating foods quickly after a meal. So if you've made, say, a big pot of chili and you eat your meal and you're finished with your meal, you want to make sure you are putting that in the fridge to cool as soon as possible. And the best way to do that, especially with things that are in large quantities, is to spread them in a shallow pan so that they'll cool quickly and they won't raise the internal temperature of your fridge. Another thing to think about with temperature is temperatures that you are cooking meats to. So the best way to determine that meats are getting to a safe internal temperature is to use a meat thermometer. Color is not a reliable way to determine if a meat is cooked. Finally, a couple of points that may be relevant to the ways we're cooking differently right now. So cans, just like with your produce, you want to make sure you're washing the top of your can before you open it so that you're not getting anything in the food that's inside. For frozen foods that we may be using more of and defrosting them, the safe ways to do that are, if you're planning ahead, to defrost something in the fridge overnight. You can also defrost foods in the microwave if you're going to eat them right away, if you're going to cook with them right away. Unsafe ways to defrost foods are leaving them on the counter for a while or running them under hot water, because again, with that danger zone, those are keeping those foods in not great temperatures for too long. I also wanted to address the issue of best by dates or best if used by dates or sell by dates. Those are indicators of quality, not of safety. So any foods that have those dates on them are still going to be safe, but if it's a cracker, it may not be quite as crisp as when that date indicates. An expiration date, on the other hand, does refer to safety, so that's something to pay attention to. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Happy cooking, and feel free to post any questions or comments you have on the video. There will be resources linked in the notes as well.